I've got to stick up for Bob Brown. I know I had my laugh earlier this week, but this is now more serious because he has actually raised an important point about wind farms and birds that, as a nature lover myself, I think has been dismissed for too long. But of course, this week teasing the sanctimonious former Greens leader has just been too much fun for everyone. After Brown finally said, after years of backing wind farms, that he now thinks that one planned for an island off his home state of Tasmania is ugly, will ruin the views and kill birds. Now, if you've been watching it all this week, you'll have seen Brown being mocked by the Liberals, mocked by almost everyone here at Sky, mocked by the Labor leader, mocked by the right-wing politicians like Bob Catter. I mean, talk about an endangered species, Bob Brown must feel like one now. But how about we quit laughing at him and start listening? Because Brown is actually right. Of course, wind farms are ugly and of course they ruin views, some of our best views too, on the coast. That's no surprise, and I talked about that early in the week. But let's talk about the birds. Now, I am glad that Bob Brown finally recognises this threat, which has been studied overseas, but seems to have been wildly underestimated here by our own planners when they went about approving nearly 100 wind farms all over Australia. Now, we were told, for instance, in the planning stages that the Bald Hills wind farm in Victoria's Gippsland, that one would have a minimal effect on the population of the magnificent wedge-tailed eagles, which are a protected species. In fact, in just one spring, 2015, 7 young wedge-tailed eagles were killed by this one farm alone. And those are the dead ones that were counted before scavengers got to whatever else was there. Now, it's true that wind farm has tried to take some steps to cut the death toll. And we should also remember that cats kill many, many more birds than do wind farms. But that doesn't mean we should keep ignoring the danger to our protected birds from these things. And we have too often ignored it ever since South Australia's Starfish Hill wind farm killed 2 wedge-tailed eagles in its first couple of weeks. That was the first evidence here that wind farms did kill eagles. But we still keep getting told, don't worry, it's not really a problem. For instance, another example, a report for the federal government in 2006 into 7 wind farms in Tasmania predicted that wind turbines there would kill an additional 1 Tasmanian wedge-tailed eagle, which is an endangered species, every year. Just 1. Together, just 1. Wrong. Since then, operators of just one of those wind farms, the big Woolnorth one in Tasmania's northwest, said it killed more than 3 wedge-tailed eagles and sea eagles each year. And even one of our smallest wind farms, Yelloak South, that's the closest to Melbourne, it killed 3 wedge-tailed eagles in its first year. In fact, a study of the giant MacArthur wind farm, also in Victoria, calculated each turbine would kill more than 10 birds a year, a third of them raptors, eagles and the like. And this problem is actually even worse than that because wind farms need a lot more electricity lines to connect them all to the grid, and those lines also kill birds, and particularly big ones. So it's a problem, and none of this really should come as a surprise. If it weren't for the fact, of course, that green groups here seem to have been incredibly quiet about this problem, and I'm guessing that they thought, well, if we say nothing, that helps wind farms, and they're putting wind farms, saving wind farms, above saving protected birds. They put global warming ahead of animals. But overseas, study after study, in Spain, in Germany, in Norway, in America, warn that wind farms kill, and particularly kill larger birds. In fact,
the primary injury on this bird is the left wing. There's an amputation at the carpal joint. The carpal bone is shattered. We describe this as blunt force trauma, which is consistent with a wind turbine strike, given the location where the bird was found.
In fact, at Altamont Pass in the United States, more than 600 eagles, hawks and owls are killed each year, even after operators agree to shut down turbines at the most dangerous times and replace the most deadly turbine forms that they had.
The Altamont is killing more eagles than the local population can reproduce.
And even so, across America, a study estimated wind farms were killing 500,000 birds a year. 83,000 of them raptors. And that's prompted a crackdown there on wind farms you haven't seen here. One in Wyoming was hit with $1 million fine for killing endangered golden eagles. Nor is it just birds being killed. German wind farms are estimated to be killing 250,000 bats each year. And so many insects that the German Aerospace Centre recently estimated they added up to 1,200 tonnes of dead insects every year. Insect strikes are such a problem that scientists have found the blades of wind turbines can get so coated with these dead insects that the wind flow is slowed so much that electricity output is halved and they have to then be cleaned. So, laugh at Bob Brown, call him a hypocrite, but at least he's now drawing attention to a problem that other Greens here have ignored or played down. So, I reckon it's time Australia finally had a serious scientific look at the damage that wind farms really are causing, and not just to the view, but to our protected and even endangered wildlife. So, my cry is save the wedge-tailed eagle. And shouldn't Green activists be standing with me and Bob Brown?